Hello. Um, Thought I'd make a little bit of a video because I haven't done that for at least a couple of days. I was in Greenwich today. For those of you that know where that is, I don't live near there. I went up there. I went to Greenwich University actually to an open day, and that was an experience. I quite enjoyed that. Um, More so, I enjoyed the coach journey there and back. I was sat with my good friend, and yeah, it was great. Also, I recorded, and I may continue to record the meetings between KO Games slash Freeze Flame Studios because the two are kind of merging a lot. They've a lot of the same members cross over. I would just say let's just call it one studio, but one does games, one does films. There's a difference, a huge difference, and I couldn't cross them over. I recorded one meeting so far. May record more. Kind of in two minds whether I should upload it or not because some of the stuff is crazy. I mean, just look at what I've done already. I've made a game about a marshmallow. Now imagine the studio that spawned that having a meeting. It's worse than what you're thinking. I can tell that. I might upload some of them. I might kind of record them over the course of a couple of weeks and then compile the highlights and try to censor them a little bit because they might be a little inappropriate sometimes. Some of the members of AKO are imaginative. Uh, Also, Hollow Sun Studios is in a little bit of trouble at the moment, and by a little bit of trouble I mean AKO has had to bail them out of a pretty depressing situation. Kyle, who's in charge of Hollow Sun Games, has been without a computer for a while now, so communication has been difficult. Me having been working a lot recently towards becoming a better game developer and also developing games has meant that I haven't been communicating much within Hollow Sun Studios, and as much as we hate to admit it, it's turned into a two-man army. It's just two of us making games, and since one of us is out of action, it's just me at the moment. But even once Kyle gets his computer fixed, it's two of us. But we seem to have fixed all of that problem now. AKO may be acquiring Hollow Sun Games. It'll be more of a complete merge because obviously there's not a lot of point in just having two separate studios, one of which consists of essentially one person because I am part of AKO, so it would be just one person on their own. But we will be keeping the essence of Hollow Sun Games, and it may feature in some of our sort of retro style games. Talking about that, you remember that game I once tried to make called Vex Fighter and it was really poorly received on Steam Greenlight? I have a theory. I think that the lack of a playable demo was why people thought it was bad. Because it did look a bit boring. I was trying to fix the fact that some of the gameplay was a bit slow, and I've done that now, and it's really fun to play. It was really fun to play until I broke it all. Spoilers, I broke it all. But I've I've started programming it again due to advice from a college advisor from the gaming the video game development course that I'm on or whatever. It's just difficult to say. Shut up. suggested that and I quote, tart it up a little, and then it could go commercial, sort of thing. So I thought, well, firstly, screw Steam Greenlight. I don't like the method of. It's just making it really harsh on indie developers. Valve has always been a beacon of hope for indie developers. That's how we do things. Digital distribution, that's how indie game developers work. And Valve have taken something so perfect for indie developers and destroyed it. So, as far as I'm concerned, until we get a little bit bigger, we're ignoring Steam as a form of digital distribution. It's just not going to happen. Alternatives, such as Good Old Games, we've not considered that yet. Well, we've considered it, but we've not put any plan such as that into action. There was also another one. It's quite obscure, and we contacted them before. They would be happy to do it, but it's kind of it's too obscure for us to really make any stride forward in our whatever. We can't get exposed from that. But Desura, I think that's how it's pronounced, is rather like Steam, except they're extremely nice to indie developers. They're the people that run IndieDB and ModDB and SlideDB, whatever. We're listed as an authorized developer and publisher on IndieDB, and as soon as we release an alpha game, which would probably be Vex Fighter, we will be authorized on Desura as well. So that's exciting. But Vex Fighter's had a huge. Everything I promised Vex Fighter would be is now coming into. It's coming into play. It's action. In it. I promised that sooner or later Vex Fighter would have a seemingly endless space to play in, because that's the image I had. Just fly on forever. Technically, you could do this with the old Vex Fighter. I'm not sure how many of you have playable builds of that. If you have a playable build of Vex Fighter, distribute it. You might have to play it offline though, because if you play it online, I think it will upload to a broken. It will update to a broken version. I don't know. I'll try and release an older version, but I broke it a lot trying to implement the endless space thing. But anyway, you would kind of jump to the opposite end of the screen if you. Yeah. It wasn't ideal, it was very jumpy, but it worked. It was technically flying on forever. A couple of problems with that. It was jumpy, didn't look nice. The enemies were pretty stupid when it came to that, because you would cross that border and they would think, oh, well, he's gone. And they would fly to wherever you were on the screen before that. They wouldn't carry on flying after you as if you hadn't gone off the screen, which was bad. I managed to break the game. The game was getting really nice. It had nice particle effects and stuff. It looked busy and action-packed. And I was optimizing it as well so that the particles didn't destroy everyone's computer. You may need a bit of an advanced rig to... Well, not an advanced rig, but the better your computer, the better it will be, basically, because there will be particle effects. You can turn the particle effects off. In fact, I might have an option to just reduce every particle that kind of has to be there into an animated sprite. Like explosions and stuff, they kind of had to be there, otherwise the game's just not good. I'll probably have an option, instead of having the particle explosion, to use the older explosion, which was just a sprite exploding. But, you know, it was alright. But yeah, it was looking really nice, and then I broke it by trying to add in the endless space. But anyway, that works now, and I accidentally programmed the AI to be a lot smarter. One of the problems with the old version of Vex Fighter was the AI was pretty smart, but in a stupid way. Because I programmed them to be smart enough to be stupid. Because I didn't want the Vex, which were the enemy ships, to know where you were immediately. I wanted them to have to look for you. So they'd fly around aimlessly until you were in their range, and then they'd fly after you, and if they got close enough, they'd try to shoot you. Which was, it was good, it worked well, but that led to pretty slow gameplay once you've got down to one or two enemy ships left. So, I think that was one of the reasons people thought it was really boring. That doesn't happen now. They just all attack you. So it'll be more difficult as well, which is good because the original game was difficult. I had a lot of trouble playing it, so I'm sure you will as well. I had trouble. I got to round 9, and that's good. Round 9. I'm sure people will be better than me at some point. But I'm loving the new version. Everything just works so well. In fact, unless you switch the borders on, which won't be a feature of the game, it'll be a developer console code, which you will be able to access, but kind of ruins the effect. If you activate the borders around the screen, like the actual area, you will see where the boundaries are. So, seriously, if you get the chance, switch the boundaries on and just see how beautiful the whole thing is. Oh, I really like it. I like it a lot. Oh, one of the problems I was having with the original version of Vex Fighter, by the way, like having it endless space, it drew a background. This new one doesn't draw a background, which is a good thing as well, because with the background before, it was always the same background. Now, it randomly generates stars, which I like very much. There's a loop that triggers at the beginning of the game, which just generates stars in random positions across the background, which is really nice. And because essentially they are tiles and not a background, so they will generate all over the place, and it will. There's a script that I wrote that sort of mirrors the tiles, not mirrors them, but copies them onto the outer regions of the room so that it kind of looks like it's looping. It's pretty complex and it's hard to explain. But anyway, Vex Fighter is going to come out. I promise you that. And I will support it a lot. It's not like one of those things I'm going to release and then never do anything with. I'm going to carry on updating it until it's utter perfection. But I'm going to add more and more to it until you want me to stop adding stuff to it, I suppose. Once you've got to the point where it's like, too much, stop adding things. Yeah, I'm going to add things. Also, with Desura, it will allow achievements and stuff, so yeah. The game will actually count how many years you have played the game for, so there's going to be an achievement for playing the game for an entire year. That's not leaving it on the main menu for days. That's actually playing in-game time. That's a bit optimistic. I'm not sure anyone's going to manage a year, but if someone does manage a year, that is optimistic. I don't think anyone's going to manage a year. Not for at least 50 years. If someone's still playing it in 50 years, I'm going to be impressed. Anyway, thanks for watching. And sorry about the long video. How long was this video? Wow. Sorry, I had to update you. Thanks for watching. That's a crazy amount of time to watch a video for. If it's just me talking. If you enjoy me talking, then watch these longer videos. I will talk for a long time. I will not stop myself from talking. Anyway, I'm going to stop myself from talking now, but anyway, that's what I've got to say. I am making a game again, and it's a remake of an older game that I really wanted to make, but everyone hated it. Found out why people hate it, and I fixed those problems. So that's going to be made, and I hope everyone likes it this time. I liked it the first time. I got pretty addicted to it. And everyone that played it got pretty addicted to it. I just wish I released a demo originally when it was on Greenlight. That would have... It probably would have been out... Oh, well, it's optimistic. It probably would have still been on Greenlight if I had done that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. I'm gonna press the stop button now. Goodbye.